Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Empowered Living Podcast by Empowered Life Church. We hope it blesses you.
A couple of weekends ago, on a Sunday, we were all here, and I talked about resilience. And it was a little bit of a heavy message. I shared some open and honest things of how to be resilient and not give up. And after reading the message and doing it again, the Lord downloaded me even a part 2. So today we're going to talk about resilience leads to revival. Can I get some Pentecostals saying revival? Wow, you guys are rowdy with me. I love it. Resilience basically is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness, the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape. I like to call it my elastic pants. They always come back, right? What is revival? Anybody want to share what revival is to them? You can shout it out. I don't have to call on you. I'm not youth pastor today. Nobody wants to share? Renewal. I like that. Anybody else know what revival is? Lively. Okay. Waking up. Like it. What'd you say? A revived heart. So growing up in the church, I was very involved from the age probably 8 till 18. I started teaching kids ministry at 10. With the teacher, of course, and then by 13, leading the youth group, and then by 14, leading worship. So it was a complete, constant person. And in that, we were always, every Sunday, coming together saying, God, bring revival. Till this day, literally till this last week, I didn't know what revival was. I didn't know. What is revival? What does it look like? Everybody's asking the Lord for revival. We want to see a move of God. We want to see miracles. That's great. What's a revival? How can we get this started? So a revival is an improvement in the condition or strength of something. An improvement in the condition or strength of something. Wouldn't it be super cool to have an improvement in Christianity movement? Wouldn't it be great to see the conditioning or the strengthening of it? Why are we not seeing it? Why is there no revival? Do we not know what revival is? Were you just a kid that's like, yeah, revival? I had no clue what it meant. So I had to ask the Lord, what is a revival? How could I pursue a revival? How could I see Christianity transform for an improvement in the condition and the strength of it? Why are we seeing so many Christians fall? I'm done with Christianity. The church, it hurt me. Let me tell you, growing up in the church, I could tell you all stories of how the church hurt me. But guess what? It was people. It was people. It wasn't the church. Could be their leadership, but it's still the root of people. One of my testimonies that I will never, ever let go is when I was 17, I was super excited about worship. And let me tell you, if you guys have experienced me worship, when I started, I could not sing a note. I promise you. I listened to it the other day, and I was like, whew, why'd they let me lead worship? It was God is great. Like just like crazy stuff going on in the throat. But I was resilient, and I said, I'm going to take vocal lessons. I'm going to train myself up so I could be a good worship leader. I want to be the best I can be for Jesus to show him good. And I started doing this, and then I grabbed a mentor. Can you mentor me? I want to learn what it's like to love Jesus and worship Jesus. So she started mentoring me. And then at 17 years old, I was put in a meeting, and the leadership team said, you are not a worshiper. You're a performer. You do not have a heart for God. I could have left. I could have dropped Christianity. Okay, bye. Got hurt, church hurt. I'm a part over here. I did leave. I was done. I was hurt. You were my mentor. You equipped me. You shaped me, and you say I'm this? That really hurts. So I left the church, went to college, pursued a college career. I was going to be a doctor. That was my goal. And I was at OIT, go Owls, hustling Owls. And I love the Lord. I was just done with church. I don't want to do it. I was there Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, any prayer meeting, any connect group. I was always there. I was even the janitor of the church. So it was like constantly in my blood. So in college, I'm like, I'm done with church. I'm just going to have my own church with Jesus and him. Because, I think I know the Bible really well at 19 years old. I totally know this because I've been raised in the church. And then this guy came up to me, who was one of my lab partners, and he goes, hey, you want to come to the 120 with me? I'm like, the 120? What kind of, what's going on with this? Yeah, come on to the 120. It's cool. Dutch Bros is there. We just kind of hang out. It's just like a young adult group hangout. Young adult, that's Christian words. I don't know. I was like, okay, cool. Free Dutch Bros. I'm a poor college student. I'll take it. So I decided to go, and it's a church. And instantly, fear, regret, all that insecurity started piling up again. I was like, God, why am I here? It's not worth it for Dutch Bros. Why did I commit? And I was outside. I barely knew anybody. I didn't even see the guy that invited me. That was my lab partner. And I was just like, why am I here? And I see all the fake Christianese stuff, in my mind. Hi, blessings! And you're just like, why? Why? And we're hanging out. And the cool thing is that they provided dinner. Because they're like, you guys are college students. You need some food. Here's a free dinner. Of course, I'll take free food. I'm living off of top ramen from Costco. And so we're eating, and then this one girl came up to me, and she was kind of timid, and she's just like, hi. And I was like, hi. I don't really have any friends. My name's Camrie, doing the awkward exchange. Sometimes we have to remember how to make friends. And she's like, I love it if you sit by me and worship. And I was like, this is church. They said worship. I thought it was just a hangout. And then they had two separate buildings. So then the next building was where the auditorium was, where the worship and everything. The second I stepped through the door, I felt his presence, and I began to cry. And I was like, Jesus, I feel you, but I'm in a church. They're going to hurt me. They're going to hurt me. And then worship began. And I was just like, I don't want to sing, but I'm going to sing. And I started singing, and all of this weight, all the anxiety, all of the things that I thought were completely dropped at Jesus' feet. And I had to think to myself, why did it take me so long to come back? It was because of people, not him. I was more afraid of encountering people's presence and judgment on me than actually encountering the true presence of Jesus. That stopped me from receiving him. So why do we need revival? We need people to stop being church hurt and see that Jesus is king. You came here this morning to experience God's presence, not to hear me talk from a microphone. I'm here to equip you from what I've learned. And I'm young. You guys have so much more than I know. But why do we need revival? Because I can see Generation Z rising up and saying, this is the true king. I may not be perfect. I may say some harmful things, because guess what? I'm human. I'm not perfect. But in him, I find strength. In him, I find rest. So let's look at some Bible characters that I like who remained resilient to lead into revival. This poor guy was sold into slavery by his brothers. If brotherly love isn't that well already, be like, bye, kid. Psh, psh. Imagine that feeling, right? And then his steadfastness eventually led him to a position of power in Egypt, where he was able to save his family during a time of famine. That's literally someone who sold you into slavery you're rescuing again. Can you imagine how easy it would have been like, go die. That's what you get. You sold me. But even in the rise of his power, he had to deal with someone accusing him of something he didn't even do. And then he gets thrown into jail for it, something that he didn't even do. And then why, God? What have I done to be? But then God gives him a gift. You're going to be able to interpret dreams. Oh, okay. And through his interpretation of dreams, he received power. It all started with a gift. Job. I can't imagine being Job, losing my wealth, my health, my family, but still trusting in God and being like, you're never going to abandon me. Daniel, I'm going to go in the lion's den, and I'm going to be totally fine. Can you imagine going to the zoo and being, hey, guys, God's got this. I'm in the lion's den. That's a choice. But being thrown and being like, hey, Camrie, good luck. You're going to be dead. You're going to be killed in a couple minutes. But God showed his love, and he wasn't even touched, not even a scratch, right? Esther, her courage and resilience and evidence are in her willingness to risk her life to save her people, the Jews. Despite the danger, she used her position as queen to intercede on behalf of her people, leading to a significant turn of events and preservation for the Jewish community. If she went into his throne room and he was like, nope, she could have been killed right there. We don't understand the weight of that. It's like saying, hey, if you walk through these doors, we have a sniper rifle ready, pointed at you, and you're going to be shot. Literally that effect. But she said, I'm going to do it because my God loves me, and I know he's going to protect me. And she found favor in the king. It goes on and on and on. But the guy that I relate to the most is Paul. He used to be Saul. Saul was probably one of the most gruesome killers of Christians. Murdered them, hated them, despised them. Has one encounter with Jesus and writes most of the New Testament. Isn't that crazy? To hate something so much and to do a complete 180? It's so cool. So all these Bible characters demonstrate that resilience in the face of adversity and challenges can lead to moments of personal and communal revival. Their choices not only affected themselves, but everybody around them. How many times have you been put in a corner and said, hey, if you make this decision, Mamita's going to get a new car. But if you make it wrong, she's not getting it. That's a lot of pressure. I want her to get a new car. So how do we get this strength to continue in resilience? I talked about resting in the Lord, coming to him, all who are weary, and I will give you rest, right? We come to him and rest, but how do we get this strength? I was reminded of a Sunday school song. I'm going to do the actions for you guys. Ready? My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. Right? And I'd be up there and be like, yeah, the mountains are his, the valleys are his, the stars in the sky. I can't remember the last. Anyways, moral of the story is we're trained at a young age that God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. John 14:14, this is a really good piece that my husband added to me yesterday. We were driving from the wedding, and he goes, did you know, where it says, John 14:14, ask anything in my name and I will do it. The context of that is if I don't have it for you, I will make sure you will have it. That's literally what it says. If I don't have it, I will make sure you will have it. That's what God's saying for you. Psalms 73:26, God is the strength of my heart. Ooh, my heart. I like to think from kids' analogies. The first step is asking Jesus into your, why is it your heart? Why is it not your head? Why not your body? Why not my Bible? That's what I used to think Jesus was. He is, but the heart is something so vital. It has pathways that pump bloods out and receives blood in, right? So we're receiving and outpouring. In order to truly have revival, you have to receive Christ to release him. You can't just be like, yeah, everybody's going to get revival. Where's your receiving? When have you received revival in your own life? Ephesians 6:10-18. Final word. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. Therefore, put on just some pieces. I'm just going to wear my shoes of peace today. Peace, guys. It says every piece of armor, so that you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil. Then after the battle, you will still be standing firm. How many of you guys have gone through a battle in life? Almost everybody in this room, right? How many of you are still standing? Right? God's promise is he says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And sometimes in battle, it gets rough and we have to lay down. And that's where I have to go. You lay me down in green pastures. I'm laying down in your pastures, Lord. This is hard. I can't do it. You lay me by still water. What is it like to be near still water? There's no chaos. There's no crazy sounds. It's stillness. Put on salvation as your helmet and take the word of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Pray in the Spirit at all times, and on every occasion, stay alert and be persistent in your prayers. That's a part a lot of people like to skip. Put your armor on. You're good. I'm a warrior. Almost after I was looking into warrior chants before every battle, there's a thing called the actual warrior cry that a lot of people chant. They get themselves into this thing. And looking into this, praying in the Spirit is our actual warrior cry. It's a gift. It all starts with a gift. I'm crying from the depths of my spirit. I don't know what's ahead of me, but Lord, you do. I was talking about speaking in tongues to the kids, and I asked, what do you guys think about speaking in tongues? It's weird. I don't blame you. It is weird. A lot of churches don't talk about it, right? Yeah, I don't understand. Isn't it like you're speaking of angels, though? Yeah, God can share and commune. I was 15 years old, and I was really skeptical of the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues because I went to a pretty Pentecostal church to where we did the walls of Jericho on Sunday. We're going to make everything fall down. Come on, everybody, do the wall of Jericho. It was intense. And I was skeptical. I'm like, this is just performance. And I was just like, okay, Lord, if this is truly you, I want to be baptized in the Holy Spirit. I want to speak in tongues. I want to see if this is real. And so I went up to receive, and I was skeptical the whole time, and my heart wasn't receiving. So I was like, okay, go for it. It's not going to work. Already in my mind. And then nothing happened, and they didn't go after me forever, like, you're going to do it. They're not that kind of church, thankfully. And so I was just like, okay, God. I said if it was real, do it. And he said, what about your heart? Were you really ready for it? I was like, I don't think so. I don't think I was. I was kind of skeptical the whole time. And then my sweet Jesus time was in the shower singing, because that's where I felt like I could be vulnerable with Christ with my worship. And I was singing, and the kids are excited about me singing. And all of a sudden, it literally felt like rivers of water bubbling up. Bubbling. Like I couldn't explain it in any way. And all of a sudden, just a 2-word thing came out. And I'm like, that's it? I just say the same thing over and over. Are you kidding me? This is dumb. My pastor would get up there and just, like forever. And I'm like, what the heck is this guy saying? How did he get those words? And I only have 2. So then I'm like, is it me? Is it my heart? But then I was reminded of that. Pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Camrie, you're not praying in the Spirit right now when you're talking on the mic. How can you spray? It's a new pray. How can you pray in the Spirit all times? It's a position and a posture. Lord, I'm ready to hear you. My spirit is quiet before you. God spoke to me at the grocery store. Buy this lady's groceries. Okay, God, I'm going to do it. Hey, ma'am, can I buy your groceries? No! I was like, I just want to cover you. I'm not trying to do any scam or anything. I can help myself. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not saying that you can't. I just wanted to help you. I was just, God, usually this works. Why did you tell me this? You said, and she says, no. Like, what do you do with that? So I sat still before the Lord. Did I miss it? Did I hear wrong? Was that you or was that me? And then I saw her walking out to her car, and she's just carrying so much heaviness. So I just went up to her and I said, I just wanted to let you know, the Lord hasn't given up on you. She looked at me and then went back to her things. I don't know what that did. I don't know what happened. I don't have a fairy tale story to tell you, oh, that's what I needed to hear. But just by being obedient, I was obedient to the Lord, and it did something in me. I didn't get instant gratification. I didn't receive a thankfulness. It was kind of like, okay, it's going to be a little scary to do this again, but we got this, right, God? Ephesians 3:14-16. When I think of all this, I fall on my knees and pray to the Father, the creator of everything in heaven and earth. I pray from his glorious, unlimited resource. He will empower you with inner strength through his Spirit. Come close to God, and God will come close to you. Really? It's that easy. Psalms 119, 114. You are my refuge and my shield. Hope together. Why is that? Why do we see strength to hope? A lot of times in battle, you're given instructions of where to go. This is the hope of winning the battle. This is what will happen. Our battle's already won. We have to have hope continually to know that it's already won. And that's where gratefulness comes in. God, I thank you that when this happened, you were there for me. And it's a position of a heart going back to the memories of good. Because it's so easy to complain about the bad, am I right? Oh, I have to wake up at 7 tomorrow. I get to wake up at 7 tomorrow because I have a really cool business going on right now. And I have customers, and I'm excited. So I'm going to get up happy. You got to talk to yourself. We are called to not be in this world. We're not called to be of this world, but in this world. What is the most popular thing going on in the world that you could see? What is streaming the most? Identity. Why is identity so attacked right now? I think I'm a kitty today. Meow. I think of my 1-year-old niece that's just like, there's a kitty, meow, like where did we struggle and lose our identity? Why did we lose that? There's 7 spheres of influence in this world. We have government, media, business, family, education, religion, arts and entertainment. How many of those are run by Christians? What is the number one in identity? Family. They're doing studies and research is showing that a lot of the people have either no father, fatherlessness, or they have had some kind of abuse in their life. Where's the family to step in? Protect. Remember, resilience is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly. So how can I recover when something bad happens in my life? How can I do it? Where is your seat in the kingdom? I just listed 7 spheres of influence. I'm not asking you to be president tomorrow. Is he in your business? Is God in your business? Is God being influenced by your business? Is God in your education? Are you studying him completely and able to explain stuff to people? Or do you just say, oh, that's one pastor said somewhere in the Bible? Arts and entertainment, it's been sold out every time I tried. It's like over 110 million right now. Indiana Jones got 15 million. So why is the media starting to react? Nobody's covering that. No, why? It's a video about protecting kids from sex trafficking. Yet the media doesn't want to portray it, and then all of a sudden the conspiracy theory of AMC theaters, oh, our air conditioning broke. Happened over so many places. It happened to one of my friends. Gonna go see the movie, bought all the concessions, walk in, sorry, we're not showing the movie, the theater's actually doesn't have AC. What? Just play the movie. No, we have no AC. You can't make this up. Why is it so crucial to be an influencer? Because the truth will always set you free. And that's what they're scared of. They're scared of the truth. So how do I release his kingdom, and how do I get a seat in his kingdom? Kingdom is about your heart posture. Legacy is the aim of the kingdom, not the influence. What does that mean, Camrie? What is the aim of the kingdom? If I love the Lord so much, my whole life is going to resound him. You're not going to see a different Camrie outside these walls. Camrie's going to be true to who she is. I'm going to totally position my heart in a place of saying, Lord, move through me. Let me hear your voice in the grocery store, even if a mean old lady doesn't want me to buy her groceries. Test me again in that. Right? Legacy, we build for others and not for ourselves. That's a hard one. A lot of the times we want to receive what happens when we're actually, working, right? Digging the line, I want to see what happens after this. But a lot of times you're setting the foundation. A legacy isn't for you, it's for the family and for those after you. The kingdom is laying your life down as a servant. What did Jesus do? Did he demand people's attention, say, follow me, and hold me as we walk? He experienced it as them, and he even washed their own feet. He was the truest servant of them all, and he was moved with compassion, not anger. Oh, I just hate the homosexual movement. Ah! You're reacting to the Spirit, not through Jesus. Another nugget that Corey gave me yesterday is when the woman with the bleeding issue touched the hem of Jesus' garment, she was healed, right? After that, everybody who touched the hem of Jesus' garment was healed. A testimony started being received by others. So as a servant, tell your testimony. I want to see what God's doing in your life. I want to be a part of that. God is a God of glory to glory. We sing that song, glory to glory to glory. We'll never be the same, never be the same. You guys heard that song? You take me higher and higher and higher. We're forever changed, forever changed. It's a song saying that we go from glory to glory to glory to glory with God. God doesn't have a system where it's like, you messed up, you're downgraded. I heard that little white lie you told Camrie. You're down to glory level 1. That's not how he works and operates, right? He takes us from glory to glory to glory, and we get to experience his glory. We are to be filled with God, and we all, with unveiled faces, continually seeing as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are progressively being transformed into his image, from one degree of glory to even more glory, which comes from the Lord who is the Spirit, 2 Corinthians. We are to be transformed. Why do you think we have belong, encounter, transform a part of our motto? It's because we're supposed to be transformed so we can transform the world. So Camrie, this is all great what you're talking about, but you just don't know. You don't know what I've been through. I don't know, and I'm sorry. But you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I'm walking in or where I've gone. But the Lord continues to show me He's good. He is faithful. So when I'm going through hard things, I don't need you to tell me, oh, it's just because you're serving the Lord. Do you know how many times I was told that? From a young age of 10 years old till probably 16, I had a liver condition. It's called autoimmune hepatitis, to where your immune system is actually attacking your liver. So I had to be put on steroids. Steroids weren't working, so then I had to go to chemo. And I was on chemo for 6 years, pill form. And in that, when I first found out the news, I instantly told my mom, God's got this. I'm not worried. She pulled me out of school. I was homeschooled. But I was like, I am still doing 4-H, no matter what you say. If I'm bald, I'm going to show my steer and my heifers. And I had this determination inside of me. I felt like crap. I didn't feel good. But I was still giving the best of me to everything, to where I continued to pursue 4-H and leadership and getting a part of the 4-H, 4-H camp, to where I was a counselor so I could influence kids, all while being super, super sick and nobody know. I could have had a sad, sad story to tell people and got way more money for my steers, but I didn't. I was so blessed. But why did Camrie at 12 years old decide to do that? Because I knew God had it at such a young age. And there's other areas in my life where things came in 2020. We have patient number 1 back there from COVID. My husband went to China for business, and he came back with a little present called COVID-19. And we had no clue what it was. We had it first in Disney World, so then he was a super spreader. And that's why Florida, no, I'm just kidding. So he was sick the whole time, and we were in our room, and he's like, just turn the air conditioning off. I can't breathe. I'm like, I don't think the air conditioning is making you do that. I just can't breathe. And he's like, the only time I feel good is when I'm upside down on the roller coaster. And I'm like, okay. And then it was during a Disney dining pass, so you get these vouchers to go to these really expensive restaurants that have the incredible food. And he's like, I can't taste anything. He was so mad. And I was giving him cold medicine. I was giving him all the stuff I could think of, and nothing was helping. So then we get home, and then I get it, and I was super sick, to where I was way worse than him, stuck in the bed. And then all of a sudden, my leg started to swell. And I was like, what's that about? And then it started to grow 3 sizes bigger than my right leg. And I was like, something's going on. I don't know what it is. So I called the doctor. They're like, oh, it's just from the flu. It's just part of the symptoms of recovering. You get pain. I'm like, swelling? Yeah, that's about it. Okay. So I could barely walk on it at this point because it was so painful. And I was like, Lord, what is going on? My mom's a nurse, and she didn't like it. She's like, this doesn't seem right. And then we threw a major 30th birthday party for Corey, and it was an 80s theme, and I was trying to put my costume on, and this leg wouldn't fit in it. And I was like, that is not right. I know this. I'm not working out. This doesn't make sense. I work both legs out, I think, and trying to figure it all out. I went to the hospital the next day. I just was in so much pain. My foot was purple, and I was just like, something is up. I need to be seen. I go in the triage, and they're like, I was like, what does that mean? So they send me right back to the room, which has never happened at the ER. You're usually out there for hours waiting. And the ultrasound tech comes in and he goes, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan your left leg and then go to your right leg just to compare, and then we'll go from there. I was like, okay, sounds good. So he starts scanning the left leg, and then he stops. He doesn't do my right leg. I'm like, but you said right. And then he leaves. I'm like, what's going on? Next thing you know, a surgeon's in there. Hi, you have to sign this life-threatening thing. If you go through the surgery, it may kill you, but you need to let you know that this is what's going to happen, and we need to do this ASAP. What's happening? I don't know what's going on. I just came in for a swollen leg. You didn't tell me anything what's going on. Ma'am, you have about 100 blood clots in your leg. 100 blood clots in my leg. what? So I'm like, okay. My mom just gets there, and I'm like, Mom, I'm going to surgery. I don't know what's going on. They said I could die. And Corey's there, whiter than a ghost, like, what's going on with my wife? She's going to go to surgery. And then they wheel me back, and I'm shaking because I don't know what's happening. I just signed this thing that says I won't sue the hospital if I die. I don't know what's going to happen. What does it mean if there's 100 blood clots? And you're like, what's going to happen? What are they going to do? And so I went forward, and I was just like, okay, let's pray. So I stop. Everybody pray. And I was like, Mom, you need to pray for me. Corey, you need to pray for me. So we pray really quick. I'm shaking. I'm like, God, you've got this. They wheel me back. They tell Corey and my mom it's only going to be about an hour surgery. And I'm in there, and I'm awake during this whole thing. They're supposed to put you out, but I wasn't out enough because they were so they, for graphics, they pretty much put a hole in the back of my leg and put a big drain in it to try to get the clots out. And then they had to go in and put a stent, but I had so many blood clots that they couldn't put a stent in. So I'm on the operating table for 3.5 hours. And they didn't even tell my mom or Corey where I was, and my name wasn't listed on the surgeries, so they're freaking out and praying in tongues and being like, okay, God, whatever's going on, we just trust you, you've got this. And afterwards, I get to the room, and I have to keep my leg straight because it has a big old drain out of it. And the doctor comes in and goes, do you know how many times you could have died? And I'm just like, wait, what? I could have died? Your blood clot could have shifted to your heart or to your brain or to your lung, and you could have died instantly. And I'm in shock. What do you mean? This could have happened to me? I was dancing for the 80s party. I was in a hot tub trying to see if that would fit. I did everything wrong. But God had me. He had the final say. And I'm alive, so you all can just go. It's all good. It's okay. It's okay. So God in our innermost being works through us in miraculous ways that we never know. I didn't know what was going on with my body. No doctor could tell me. It's just the flu. But I eventually got to that place where I was like, Lord, you're going to have to carry me because I don't know what's going on. And he did. And through that led to having a condition, which I can't remember what it is right now at the top of my head. May-Thurner's, thank you, Nana. May-Thurner syndrome, which happens rarely in women. I'm one of those rare people. And so they put a stent, and then they put me to a hematologist, and they're basically like, you probably will never have kids, and you have to be on blood thinners the rest of your life, in the same sentence. No heart, compassion, nothing. And you're just like, 2020 has been the worst year started already. And I could have been fine and just let that doctor say what they needed to say. But something in my heart, because I'm obedient to God, said, test that. So I said, you know what? I don't believe that. That doesn't feel right. It doesn't sound right. So the Lord opened this whole completely journey to go to the Mayo Clinic in Arizona. And I started to see the guy, and he's the one that called Corey the patient number 1. So it's in record with Mayo Clinic. I'm just kidding. And he's like, tell me your concerns. I was like, can I have kids? Oh, yeah, totally. What? I can? Yeah, totally. You can have them naturally, C-section, whatever way. And I was shocked. This person who I thought knew everything and is a specialist who's going to help me says, you can't have kids and you're going to be on blood thinners the rest of your life. In one sentence. To this person that God sent me to, who is an actual specialist in May-Thurners, says, yeah, you can have kids. You don't have to be on you don't have to be on blood thinners the rest of your life. You're good. What? 2 reports from 2 specialists. Had I not had a relationship with God, do you think I would have just sat and stayed on blood thinners the rest of my life and never had kids? Having a deep connection with God says, Lord, I'm going to give you my shallows. I'm going to give you my midlands, and I'm going to give you my highs. So my deeps, excuse me. So the shallows are the fleeting thoughts, the distractions we have constantly. Oh man, after church, I'm going to go get a burger because that sounds really good. And then after that, I think I'm going to go grocery shopping. Maybe I should go Monday because, those are your shallows. Constant fleeting thoughts, constantly moving through your head day of, right? Your midlands, your longing, your hopes and dreams, cares for your life. One day I'll have a ranch and I'll have so many cows and I'll have Corey just driving a tractor for me because he doesn't know anything about cows, and it's okay. And, right? And then it's also your health, your progress in your career. It's your future, your finances. That's your midlands, right? So we have a different connection. And then your deeps, your cry for love, hope, and joy, your inner life. Why does Jesus say, I will go to the depths with you? I will go to the depths with you. He skipped the levels. He's already there with all of us. But he says, I will go deep with you. So how do we descend, and how do we tap into the presence of God so we can receive this revival that we just learned about today, right? We have to do our attention with our mind and our heart. Lord, I'm attention right now. I went into tension mode. With my mind and my heart, what do you say for me? What are my dreams? What are my plans? What are my goals? What is the depths of my heart crying out for right now, Lord, that you can fulfill? We're going to look God with all of our attention. All of our attention. That's hard, Camrie. You know, when I put on worship music, I just want to sing along. And that note they sing is so, change the music. Get into a place where you can connect with God, that you're not distracted by anything. Psalms 130 says, from the depths of despair, O Lord, I call for your help. Hear my cry, O Lord. Pay attention to my prayer. Lord, if you kept record of our sins, who, O Lord, could ever survive? But you offer forgiveness that we might learn to fear you. I am counting on the Lord. Yes, I'm counting on him. I have put my hope in his word. I long for the Lord more than centuries long for the dawn. Are you longing for the Lord? Are you hungry for him? Are you ready to see him move in your life? Because sometimes it's a posture that you're not. I've got this, Camrie. I've got this fixed out. My 401k will end at this time, and then I will retire, and then I'm going to go move to Maui, even though it's in flames right now, maybe not Maui. Maybe I'll go somewhere. But when we submit to him and we say, God, I'm aware of you right now, where are you calling me? When someone tells me something bad in death, Camrie, you're never going to have kids and you're going to be on blood thinners the rest of your life. Am I going to scream at God and say, you did this to me? Or am I going to go to the great counselor, the physician, and say, God, what do I do about this? I'm struggling with this. This doesn't feel right. There's a reason. He trusts you. He guides you. He's with you. So finding God begins with loving him and loving yourself. Forgive yourself. Let go. Let go of all the pain that you've had or the things you should have, could have, done. I'm not going to say that because I probably say a bad word. If you let go, it's so much easier for him to move. Think of an anchor to a boat. This is my control. I'm anchored in. I'm not leaving. And God just wants the sails to blow. You're holding yourself back. Let go. Forgive yourself. Move on. Our tensions are in the midlands and the shallows. So I'm going to release my burdens in the depths and keep my attentions on my midlands, my dreams, my love, the ranch, the cows. You've got it. Let go. You cannot carry the sorrows of this world. You're not destined or designed to do so. You are responsible for yourself. So to have revival, you have to be the healthiest you can be. Full of love, full of joy, full of hope, knowing that all the trials that you've gone through have meaning, that the Lord never left you. He never forsake you. He's continually with you and will always guide you. So descend into Christ. Let him find you. And he will totally make your path. So Lord, help us descend.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Empowered Living Podcast by Empowered Life Church. We hope it blessed you. Subscribe so you can stay up to date with our latest podcasts. If you'd like to learn more about us, check us out at facebook.com/ELC Talent or check out our website, www.elctalent.com. www.empoweredlifechurch.org. Have a blessed week.